Welcome to Low Light Land. Hi, I'm Stephanie, and on this channel, I love talking about my houseplants. In today's video, I'm actually not going to talk about my houseplants. I'm talking about a different collection. This is my mom's collection. We have actually very opposite light conditions. I have very bright light, south-facing windows, and my mom, no, she doesn't have north-facing windows, but she has east-facing windows. So she gets a little bit of sunlight in the morning and then basically just indirect light for the rest of the day. So she has had to rely heavily, as you can see, on grow lights. So in today's video, I'll be doing a tour of her entire collection. The last time you would have seen her collection was 7 months ago, and a lot has changed and been upgraded and bloomed and blossomed. Maybe not bloomed, but a lot has blossomed since then. If you'd like to see a nice before and after, be sure to check out that video, the first video I have of her entire houseplant collection. I'll put the thumbnail here on the screen so you can know what that looks like. And yeah, let's get started. Let's dive into this wonderful low light houseplant collection. Okay, so about 90%, I want to say about 95% of my mom's collection is right here, and this is her living room. So right next to me here, and I'm gonna pan out to show you, is her huge east-facing sliding door. This is the only source of natural light in this area. Everything else has solid walls and there are no windows. So because of this, she has had to supplement, like I mentioned, with a variety of grow lights. And to make the most of it, she actually uses plant stands. I actually have one of these plant stands and I have an entire video of me setting it up and installing it in my space. I have it linked in the description already. So you're gonna see those plant stands, lots of macrame hangers, lots of fun, amazing things. We're gonna start at the back, at the darkest areas of the collection, and then we're gonna move to the front, which has the brightest light. Let's go this way. So let's start at the furthest point away from the only natural light source. And that is over here with her neon, actually golden pothos. Wow, I'm already messing up and we have just started. This is her golden pothos. If you look at the very first houseplant tour, you'd notice that right now this plant looks so completely different from the way it used to be before. And I think it just got so incredibly big that she said it was time to give it a big chop and sort of start propagating it. So you're going to see other parts of this plant, propagations, new plants in other places around her space. But like you know, pothos are very resilient to low light conditions. And again, when we say low light, we're not meaning no light, but it's just getting a very, very minimal amount of light here. The reason that it got really big before is because she used to have this light source that you're going to see in a second. This lamp used to point directly at it. So it used to grow so much bigger and faster. Because it's been sort of turned in the opposite direction, it's growing much slower, a lot less variegation than before, but still doing well, and a really nice plant to sort of fill up this space next to the couch. I might as well come here and just show you the other pieces of the pothos. So hi, here I am. So down here we have sort of cuttings. I don't even know if to call them cuttings anymore. It's almost like plants, but for the sake of how we refer to cuttings, let's call these cuttings. So she's gone and put all the bits that she chopped off of the big mother plant, and she has them growing in water. And if I know her well enough, her goal is to permanently keep them in water. You can do this with pothos. They're quite resilient and they're able to withstand living in water, especially if you propagated them and left them in water. If you took it from soil and put it into water, trust me, I know from experience, it's no bueno. It's not going to work out well for you. I've tried it. It's going to be very hard, very difficult. So yeah, so because this one has a little bit more light here, it's a little bit of a brighter spot. It's getting more light coming in from the window here. It also has the benefit of having the mirror here. It's getting a little bit more light and you can spot some more of that gorgeous variegation. She's also sort of stuffed it. So it's This would be also a very nice centerpiece on a dining table, but I think it looks cute here on this table where she has it with all her stones. And another one, so she created another plant, and I believe this one is growing in soil. So just from a tiny little pothos, I wish I had a picture of how it started, but you could check out that older video and you can see how it used to look. She has a beautiful Monstera deliciosa. It actually, if I'm correct, I'll put a correction on the screen. If I'm incorrect, I'll have to ask her, but I believe this is from one cutting that I gave her. So I gave her just a single leaf and she's been able to propagate it and grow it, and I think she's actually chopped it up and made multiple plants since then, and it's beautiful, nice and shiny. Very happy in this area. And look at this leaf with all these fenestrations. That's just so beautiful. Monstera is so good at like filling up sort of like it's a great space filler. I wouldn't buy a Monstera to put in a low light spot, but Monsteras are able to withstand medium-ish lights on the lower side. They can withstand it, you just have to be careful not to overwater them, but they can tolerate it in my opinion, and they just will not give you the beautiful lobes. So she most likely got these fenestrations when she had it in front of the window, because she used to have it over there, and so when you don't give it high amounts of light, it will just sort of give you either solid leaves like this or just a few splits, but usually it needs lots of light to get those fenestration, the holes in the leaves. But it's doing well, and it seems like it's getting enough light here. All of these lights are grow lights, and this one here has a grow bulb in there, and then she also has another grow bulb in here pointing down at these plants. So let's start at the top. I will try to ask her what grow lights she uses. So this is an African violet, and she has it most likely, if I know her well, it's going to be in soil. Yes, it's in soil in a self-watering pot. But yeah, she loves African violet because she loves flowering plants. So I'm trying to get her into Hoya, because Hoya's flower. So yeah, so she's got it here in a self-watering pot. Like I mentioned, she loves plants that flower, so naturally she has an anthurium, and it's giving out these beautiful purple flowers here. Very, very nice. It's also in soil in a self-watering pot, and it seems to be enjoying the light from this grow light up above here. And over here, you would have seen this plant recently. This is the Aglaonema that we got some time ago online, not online, at Heumanns. I have lots of plant shopping videos of that store. It's a great store which has lots of beautiful plants. But yeah, we got this there, and it had a little accident, but now it's starting to recover, and it also has another plant growing inside down here as well. And I think she has it, if I feel it well. Oh, I think this is in Molly's Aeroid Mix. I can recognize that mixture anywhere. It's in Molly's Aeroid Mix. Actually can't see the camera. I just recognize it from feeling it. And then a little bit further down, she has another Monstera deliciosa. I mean, who doesn't love the leaves on a Monstera deliciosa? Those very jungle-like leaves. It really gives the space a very jungle-like look. And I believe she has it down here in soil and a self-watering pot. I find Monsteras can be quite thirsty, especially if you're giving them high amounts of light. And then lower down, she has a Syngonium. I have one of those as well. I can't remember the name, but it's one of those Syngonium where the newer leaves are pink. You can see it here. The newer leaves are pink, and then when they harden off, it becomes sort of this muddy brown color. But hers is very happy, nice and full, happy under this grow light shining directly down on it. And it's in LECA, in a self-watering pot. I think Syngonium is a great plant to grow either just entirely in water or semi-hydro. It's so easy. And this one, oh, I need to ask her, but I do believe this is an Aglaonema. Which kind exactly, I don't remember. I'm not well versed in Aglaonema, but this is a baby plant of a mother plant that you will see soon that has just blossomed and grown beautifully and huge. I think she's trying to either gift or sell this one because the mother plant is so big. And yeah, that's a little baby one that she has down here. And then since we're at the bottom, let's work our way back up again. So here we have a Scindapsus. I'm so proud of how she's able to grow Scindapsus really well. I'm not very good. I only have one, which you'll see in a minute. She has the same one, and that's the only one that I can grow well, but she is, you know, having a great time with it. Look at this new leaf. Look at this, not a new leaf, but look at this leaf here. It's huge. It's about the size of my palm. It's so big. Stunning. And I noticed that when they're allowed to go up, sometimes the leaves get to be a little bit bigger. So I'm not sure when she sort of put this to vine up, if she had it growing down and then up. I need to ask her. But yeah, she has it going upward here, climbing up on this plant stand. Maybe that's what I should do for mine. But the only thing is, if I put mine on the ground, it won't get any light. So she has a grow light shining on it, as you can see, a grow light down here. But that's how she can get away with having it at the bottom and letting it work its way up at the top. And it's all the way up here, going all the way up at the top, and then going still more and more along here. But it's sort of pushed out a vine here. So not quite sure. She may have to cut it and then let it start again, because from what I know, Scindapsus will not. It's not like Hoya that grows a vine and then pushes out leaves. The leaves come out as the plant goes. And so yeah, to get new leaves there, she'd have to restart that vine over and maybe cut it right around here to get it to push some new leaves here. Here she has what looks like an alocasia holly. So adorable, very cute. It's one of these plants that I can really enjoy and admire from someone else's collection, but for some reason it's not one of my favorite alocasia. But this one is pretty adorable, and it looks like maybe it was dormant for a while and it's just restarting. It has 2 leaves, and it looks like there's another corm in here that hopefully will get activated soon. But she has it in LECA, definitely semi-hydro. I definitely recommend this for alocasia. And over here she has a variegated ring of fire, cutie pie. She got it at such a much better price than I did. When I got my ring of fire, it was when ring of fires, if I could say that, was so much more expensive, and now the prices have come down quite a bit. And so I think her price tag says here, she keeps her price tags. She got it for $20 at Eman's, and it has 2 plants in it. So, oh, is that a variegated leaf or a leaf saying bye-bye? I wonder. Well, I'm not gonna pull it, but it's beautifully yellow. I wonder if that's how the leaf wants to be, or if it's yellowing. But anyways, either way, it is beautiful in its own way. Very, very nice. Beautiful ring of fire. And then coming along on the wall, she has her little fly trap here. That's so funny. She put it in a pot, so it's not, you know, as obvious. That's pretty smart. And then down here she has some, it looks like her philodendron Brazil, although some of them don't seem to have any variegation on them, but still this could very well still be a philodendron Brazil. I see some little strips of yellow in here. She has them growing in water. I did try to grow my philodendron Brazil permanently in water, but it did not work so well for me. But like I mentioned, plants, if you start them from cuttings and you put them straight into the substrate you intend for them to live permanently in, they're most likely to flourish and do well. So if it seems most likely, because I only see water roots here, I don't see any soil roots. So if that's what she did, you can see that it's continuing to flourish and grow really well. It's pushing out lots of new growth. I just like the way everything here looks, the way it's hanging so nicely. I really like that. I need to sort of get my stand to look like this. I need to step up my game because this looks really nice. All right, and next to it is a plant that I used to love, a plant that We used to jive so well. And that's a watermelon peperomia. Looking at hers, does it tempt me? Mm, honestly, maybe not. But hers is beautiful. I love the leaves on a watermelon peperomia. Look at that. The green veins and then the frosty, like splashing, or the frosty nests, I should say, between the veins. It's very beautiful. And the thing about peperomia, I think the best way to grow peperomia is like this, in a self-watering pot. And when I had a watermelon peperomia, I didn't have self-watering pots yet. And I think if I did, mine would look like this, because mine did look pretty good for a while and then it tanked. And so this is the way to go about this peperomia, because as we know, peperomia can be so finicky. So you know what? I changed my answer. Maybe I might. In a self-watering pot, it's totally doable. I wish the camera could really capture the contrast of the red parts of it. So pretty. It's very, very pretty. And over here, she has, I always get confused with this. Can't remember if this is a POTHOS and Joy or Pearls and Jade, but when I know for sure, I will put it up on the screen. It can be a bit tricky. And yeah, she has it here. It's vining downward, and it looks like it might have lost its variegation in here. I wonder if she chopped it here, if it would trigger that variegation again. I'll ask her if she's interested in doing that. But that's something you can do when your plant is starting to grow without its variegation. You can cut it, and then it could trigger that variegation if you cut it at the nearest leaf that had that variegation. But that seems to be maybe really far into it. But yeah, that's it here. It seems to be just in soil, just in a regular pot. And here we have another African violet, a plant that I wouldn't say it's a low light plant, but a plant that I think that can tolerate. It can hang in there. It won't flower for you, and it will grow a lot slower, but in highlight, it will just grow really fast and out of control. And that maybe medium light is the best place for this plant, because it can grow very fast, very, very fast. But it's here. Another plant that I agree with, I will put in a self-watering setup. I do agree with this because it can dry out quite quickly. This, I think, is a Dracaena. Oh man, I'm terrible with my plant names today. But this, I think, maybe is like a lemon lime Dracaena. Could be wrong, but it's growing nicely. I used to have a yucca cane and we did not fare so well. So I'm glad that this one is growing nicely for her. Soil in a self-watering pot. And you'll see a theme here of self-watering pots. Down below, she has a philodendron silver sword that it's just like, it deserves a slow clap, because wow, if you only saw my philodendron silver sword, it's quite sad. It's quite sad. This one is gorgeous. And I think after getting her silver sword, or sorry, after seeing her silver sword, I thought, oh yeah, I really want a silver sword, because hers is so beautiful. Hers is doing beautifully. She has it on just some bamboo-ish looking sticks in the back, which is refreshing in the world of, you know, moss poles, where moss poles are very popular, and for good reason. They're amazing tools, but you can keep it simple. You can keep it simple. You can keep it on a budget, and you can just put them on a stick and tie them up to it. She used some plant tape and tied it up onto the stick here, and it looks really well. It looks really good. It's living in a self-watering pot down below. So beautiful. It's really a happy plant, I must say. The Rephidophora tetrasperma. I gave her a few cuttings of this plant, and it is, like I said, Rephidophora tetrasperma is one of my trickiest houseplants. If it's not in a self-watering pot, you are guessing. Well, I'm guessing, I should say. We are guessing, because she was struggling as well. So she has hers growing in LECA, not something that I see very often for the Rephidophora tetrasperma. And it seems like it's hanging in there. Maybe just a little bit of bleaching on this plant, on this leaf, but overall it seems to be okay. And yeah, it seems like maybe they're in agreement now. Across here, she has another anthurium. This one is, wow, look at this very bright red glossy flower. Oh, that's beautiful. I just want a lipstick in this color with this amount of sheen to it. Oh my, that's a stunner. Look at this one down here. I feel like it's even redder than the first one we just saw. And the camera is not even quite capturing just the depth of red. It's looking more pink on the camera. But yeah, I can appreciate the beauty of this. It's a nice plant. I know from my whole life, this is actually has been one of the plants that she talked about the most. Anthuriums. She loves anthuriums. Regular soil and in a self-watering pot. How's the video going so far? I really hope you like what you see. If you do, let me know by hitting the thumbs up button down below. And I'm actually 70% sure that you haven't subscribed yet. So consider subscribing. It's free and it'll help you to easily find my videos in the future. All right, let's keep going. And down here, she has a snake plant. I wonder if this is the one that I gave her. So I gave her a cutting of a Laurentii, I believe. But this looks like a completely different plant. I wonder if this is it. I will ask her and put it on the screen. She specifically advised me not to call her while I'm filming. I guess she doesn't want her voice to be recorded. So I will have to find out for you afterward and let you know. But yeah, that's it's growing down here in what medium? Well, look, it has LECA in here, it seems, just to sort of keep it held up in place, but it's pretty much just growing in water because it is completely, let's see if I can get it. So it's completely drenched. So it seems like the LECA is just to hold it in place. So I believe this could be cuttings. So I gave her a cutting and she's been sort of making cuttings out of her cuttings as they grow. Her plant is like literally the fastest I've ever seen a snake plant grow. I don't know. My mother has the greenest green thumb. She can make a snake plant grow even faster. Anyways, as we go up, we've got an adorable little ZZ plant propagating. Can you imagine? I tried propagating a ZZ plant and failed epically. But yeah, she has one growing here nicely and she has propagated so many ZZ plants and that's how she has her ZZ plant looking so full. We'll see it in just a minute, but that's a baby one. I think she may have knocked this off accidentally off her mother plant and she just put it in here in LECA. And down here, she's got another Dracaena, which seems to have like a white stripe in the middle. Down here, you would have seen this one recently, the Syngonium. We got this one in January, so she's had this one for about 7 months or so, and I recently featured it in a video, an updates video with the haul that both she and I had from that shopping trip. Another one you would have seen recently last month would be her Syngonium Scindapsus, her Scindapsus Trubii Moonlight, and she has it here. I think this is in soil. Yes, she does have it in soil in a self-watering pot. And it's just, I'm trying to be gentle, but there are lots of plants in my way. There we go. Yeah, so she has it growing here. She and I split the cost of one big full plant, and this is her half of the plant, looking really nice. Very, very nice. This is a plant that can tolerate lower light, I've noticed, but it will grow really fast for you if you give it more light, but it will dry out very quickly. It dries out very quickly. So self-watering is a very smart setup for this plant. All right, and this one here is a Peperomia Hope, and it's hanging so cutely right here off of the plant stand here. And this one, I always felt like the Peperomia Hope reminds me of Hoya because of those coin-like leaves, and they're quite firm and succulent, and it's growing so beautifully. I can appreciate this plant. It's quite cute, quite adorable, and she has it in soil. And then behind it, wow, is a Peperomia obtusifolia. I don't remember when this plant got so big. My. It's quite happy. It looks fantastic. Wow, in this self-watering pot. Wow, she has her plants looking all shiny and beautiful. Makes me want to step up my game when I show you my house plants. But wow, this one looks absolutely gorgeous. It's so full. It's beautiful. I think I'm going to try to get a shot. I want to carry it. I want to show you just how big this plant is. So I just want to show you carefully just how big it is. I've told you many times, my head is really big. And this is it next to my head. I think that's a really big size. Like it's huge. I haven't seen many Peperomia obtusifolias of this size, but it's a looker. Good looking little thing. Very, very nice. And over here she has a beautiful string of fish hooks. Man, I admire how she's able to keep these succulents alive. I like them, but I just find them so tricky. You know what? I've got a really nice west-facing window that would enjoy these succulents. How about that? How about I try to get one? But look at how long this is. Doing really well. It may have a little bit of, what's this here? Maybe bleaching, or it struggled here a little bit, but overall, it seems to be doing really well. Very, very nice. Cute little thing. And then down here, she has another Scindapsus. I wonder if she propagated this from the mother plant. My goodness, this thing is gorgeous. Wow. She might be converting me. Ah, look at how gorgeous this thing is. I think I'm gonna get a cutting. Am I shopping around in my mother's collection? Don't mind if I do. Oh man, this thing is gorgeous. I'm just admiring the leaves. Look at the size of this leaf. Oh, gorgeous. And another Peperomia obtusifolia here, but a variegated one. Remember how tiny this one was in the last video? Oh, it's so cute. And some areas the variegation is creamier, and some areas it's whiter. Very, very nice. And she has a Syngonium, butterfly Syngonium, that she has growing here in LECA. And again, I always believe Syngoniums are happiest with some bright light. They could even do medium light and LECA, or self-watering, or semi-hydro, or just water like mine. All right, and a few cuttings over here in the duck. And she's got her Monstera Thai constellation. She waited so long before getting one of these. A plant that definitely I recommend in semi-hydro as well. And yeah, looking good. I wonder what happened. Oh, it seems like the leaves melted off. That happens a lot with the variegated parts of leaves. But it's looking good. And in the back, she has a croton. I think it's just like a golden croton in the back. It looks like it's in Molly's Aeroid mix. Could be. In the back. Here she has, I believe this is a philodendron lemon lime. I wonder if it's cuttings from my plant that she may have snuck. But yeah, it looks very good. Growing in, I want to say water, because it has LECA, but I think the LECA is just meant to help the roots stay down. And if I know her well, she's probably going to permanently keep it in this setup. Yeah, the LECA is just to hold the roots down because the water is well above the LECA. Very nice. So that's this one here. One of the golden pothos. Like I said, the gift that just keeps on giving is a pothos. She has another plant here in a self-watering pot. And then in the front, look at that. Wow, this is a looker. Look at this. Man, it looks happy. Wow, look at that. That is beautiful. Oh man, you can't even see the pot. You can barely even see it. Wow, that's really nice. Growing nicely. Is it in what substrate? I believe it's just in soil. And then in the back is a Peperomia Guinea or Ginny. She got it. She has a price tag here for $3.99, but I know she's had it for a while. And down below she has a begonia. Is this the Rex? I'm not well versed in begonia. Another genus I'm not very knowledgeable of, but she has a begonia here growing in LECA. Oh, it's here. A begonia rosy, crackling rosy. Then over here she has her Xanthosoma lindenii growing in semi-hydro setup. Monstera deliciosa here. Down here she has Alocasia luciwan. A setup. Wow, look at that. So let's see. Can I just? Don't mind if I do. Wow, we've got a pot in a pot in a pot. So we've got the bottom here, and then another pot in here, and then look at that. Wow, look at that. Growing in LECA, the water reservoir, and this seems to be one of its newer leaves. That's pretty. Very nice. And then in the back we have some of her jewels. This is a Hoya Heuschkeliana Super Silver. This is a cutting from my mother plant that you've seen a few times on my channel, growing in pond. This is her in the back here, a Hoya Heuschkeliana Variegata, growing also in LECA. And she has over here a tiny little this is a Monstera Stanleyana Albo, a cutting I gave her that she's been saying has been giving her a hard time. So yeah, that plant can do that. And then over here she has an Alocasia Mellow, also growing in LECA. And in the back she has a few corms that I gave her of Black Velvet Alocasia, growing in semi-hydro. She really does like just make things work for herself and what she has. Pretty cool. And then in the back she has what's new to her. I know this one's new, a Hoya Australis Lisa. That's a new one. Also in LECA. And then in the back, I think this is a Raphidophora decursiva, a cutting that I gave her, growing also in LECA. Then she has a few baby watermelon peperomias here, and aloe vera here in Molly's, and I don't know the name of this. And then a little one of her Stramanthe Triostar growing here in what seems to be Molly's aeroid mix, and then a little bit of a cactus here, a little cactus here. I'm trying to remember if I gave this to her. I don't think I did. Yes, I did. I think I did. Oh, I need to ask her. But it's funny. It's funny how it's growing. But it's there in, I'm not sure what it's in. I think it's in Molly's aeroid mix. Let's move up to her plants that are hanging up at the top. She's got a spider plant. Happily, it is so big. It was so tiny before. It is huge now. Wow. And then she's got the Monstera Adansonii that seems to be going through a rough patch, just like mine. This plant, I don't even think it knows what it wants, let alone us trying to figure itself out. It's a tricky one. And then here she has her Philodendron Brazil, the mother plant, growing here, cascading down nicely. And then down below is a huge ficus burgundy. I think it's a burgundy, Ficus elastica burgundy. Look at how big it is. All the way, it spans from there all the way over here. And so it's enjoying this window in a massive pot down below. And yeah, she's cut this. So this actually used to touch her ceiling. If you look at the last video, I can't remember if it was actually touching the ceiling or if she had just cut it when I filmed that video, but it's pushed out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new branches, and it looks like it has some baby ones it's trying to start up. Let's see if you can see right here. So wow, it's happy though, which shows that I know that ficus plants need bright light, but this is an east facing window that doesn't get high amounts of light, and it's still doing pretty good. You know, it's doing well, filling up the space really nicely. Let me just go back. Filling up the space really nicely. She had it further into the room because she said it was taking up too much of the light coming into the room, but I told her ficus needs, so it needs to be under that window. It will not tolerate anything less. And here is a cutting that I gave her, like a small plant that I gave her that she's managed to keep going beautifully, and that's her fiddle leaf fig. And you may have seen my fiddle leaf fig plant, my mother plant. I gave her a cutting, this little guy from that plant, and she struggled with it for a little while. In the last video, again, I keep referencing it because you're gonna see how, like, a big change, how everything sort of exploded since then. And so yeah, this is doing nicely. It's doing really well. Let's see if I can just get you to see just how big it is. It is probably a little more than half of my height. So it's probably about, I don't know, 3 feet. I'm terrible with these kinds of measurements as well. But it's doing well. It has pretty big leaves. I mean, look at this leaf next to my hand. Like, that's pretty big. Huge. And then over here, she has this beautiful alocasia. I heard it's not alocasia frydek, that it's really, I'll put the name on the screen, but I know it as an alocasia frydek. But anyways, I'll put the name on the screen. But it had an infestation of spider mites, so you can see those little, you know, speckles on it here, but I believe it's free of the infestation now, and so it's in rehab mode. So it's living here where it can get right amounts of light and hopefully overcome its hard times. But yeah, this is it here. She's given me quite a few bits of this plant, and so I'm very grateful. But I've heard that this one is trickier than the variegated one, and I think I agree with that. It has been a bit trickier than my variegated one, surprisingly. And it's living in semi-hydro. It's in LECA. And this is the huge Aglaonema that I was talking about, that the little baby one came from. This thing is massive. It was actually a gift. Someone was getting rid of it and they gave it to her, but it was, I would say, half the size. And wow, it is beautiful. And she has it sort of on a few stacked pieces of styrofoam to sort of give it some height and sort of elevate it a bit. And it's looking so nicely. It's so happy. And she has another spider plant here in the corner with some babies down below. Funny enough, spider plants give me a hard time. Very weird, but they do. And here she has a cutting of her actually her ficus burgundy, 2 plants that she's been able to derive from her mother plant. And here she has, I think this is a philodendron empress, chocolate empress maybe. And that's it here. Oh, that's its newest leaf. Super shiny. Very nice. That's it here. And then down here she has the friendship plant, or the Peperomia plant. Peperomia pilea. Another Peperomia. I just find them so tricky. One minute they're amazing and another minute they're sort of losing leaves. And then over here, one before our last, she has a Syngonium albo. Look at this leaf. when she got this plant, this had so much variegation. I was worried for her because it was almost too variegated, but it's doing well. It's hanging in there nicely, beautifully. Oh man, this leaf is stunning. And look at where it lives. It lives so far away from the east window, but it lives opposite the grow lights, and it's still able. Sorry, I left this chair here. I was using it for filming, and it's still doing well. It's still pretty happy. Syngonium, they're so easygoing, and it's growing in pon. Sorry, LECA. I keep saying pon. It's LECA. And then over here is this guy here. This is a ZZ plant, semi-hydro. It's growing in LECA. Thank you for watching today's video. I appreciate you spending some of your day with me. If you enjoyed this video, you may like these other videos here, and you can subscribe by clicking right here. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.